Hello everyone, for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is John Imperial. I am an architect in Anchorage, Alaska, and today I want to share to you all a little bit about how I use my iPad. Back in 2018, I bought an iPad Pro in an effort to become more conscious about how much paper I use as an architect. So I went online and looked at how other people use their iPads. I found a ton of videos created by other creative professionals, but unfortunately I didn't find one that was made specifically for me as an architect. So I decided to start a YouTube channel and shoot my very first video called iPad for Architects, which you can watch right here. At that time, I was in the early stages and I was still trying to figure out how I can fully integrate an iPad into my workflow. I've always loved technology, but up until that point, I really wasn't sure whether I can truly become a paperless architect, or at least as close to paperless as I can get. And here we are, over a year later, and the iPad has become a pivotal tool in my life as an architect. My use for an iPad can be summed up in 4 categories. This is how I'm going to divide this video. First, architecture. Second, productivity. Third, photo and video. And fourth, entertainment. For entertainment, there's really nothing much that I can share to you guys. I just use Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, Spotify. So we'll skip that. As usual, timestamps are in the description below in case you want to jump around. Before we talk about architecture, I want to answer a question I get asked a lot. Can an iPad replace my computer? The answer is no. An iPad is simply a supplemental tool. It's not meant to replace your computer. You can live your life as an architect and as a creative professional without an iPad. If you need to do CAD and BIM work, then you need a computer. But if you already have a computer and you're looking for convenience, maybe ease of bringing drawings around and just doing some presentations, then sure, maybe you need an iPad. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to it. As an architect, having an iPad makes it easier for me to bring my files with me wherever I go. Not having to bring rolls of drawings, folders, notebooks, and everything else is really convenient. All of my files are synced, and as long as I have my iPad with me, I have access to almost everything. As of April 2020, I'm still using Autocad and Sketchup, therefore I have the apps installed on my iPad. Please take note though that this is not the full desktop versions. I mainly treat them as a viewer. So for Autocad, I use it when I'm on site and I need to verify a dimension or see if there's anything I missed. And also for Sketchup Viewer, I use it as a presentation tool. I use it to view scenes that I've created and just spin the model around. During a meeting, if there is a need to present alternative solutions or if I need to sketch over my drawings, I move over to Trace. I have the premium subscription, which includes most of the tools that I need. It has a scale ruler, a triangle, and a protractor, which allows for some accuracy when you're sketching. I use Trace mainly for generating red lines, refining ideas, and creating rough sketches. So what happens if I just want to sketch? Maybe I want to rough out a detail or formulate ideas, or maybe save an idea I have right now for future use. That's when I use Procreate. I loosely look at it this way. I use Trace for refining, and I use Procreate for conceptualizing. Procreate is a very powerful tool. This is an app that's being used by graphic designers, cartoonists, so you know that you can do much more than a simple elevation sketch. You have a vast library of brushes and you can record while you are sketching, which you can have a voiceover and maybe send it to your client or a contractor if you need to. My use of Procreate has been very simple, and to be honest, I'll probably never use it to its full potential. But hey, I got it when it was free, so that's good. One of the major things I realized after creating my first iPad video was I didn't have an app for writing down notes. I was using my iPad for drawing, but when it comes to writing down notes, I would still use pen and paper, which goes against this whole idea of trying to be paperless. So in my search, I found a perfect app called Goodnotes. In the past, I would bring a notebook or a grid paper with me every time I need to meet with a client or a contractor. But since having Goodnotes, it eliminated the need for me to carry something extra. The fact that I carry my iPad with me all the time means I have access to these notes. And they can be exported as PDF, which you can then send to anyone you need to. This is also where I import emails that include comments or ideas that I would like to incorporate in my drawings. I use Goodnotes to highlight those emails and use it as a checklist. Basically, any document that would require an interaction with a pen, I load it here. I even did an as-built measurement with Goodnotes. I find that the simple layout of Goodnotes makes it easier when you're sketching and measuring at the same time. It's like having a notebook and one of those medley pens. So convenient. The experience of sketching and writing down notes on my iPad has greatly improved thanks to Paperlike. It's a screen protector for your iPad which makes your iPad feel paper-like. It's really awesome. I created a video right here sharing my experience, so go ahead and watch it. For years and years and years and years and years, I have been using Evernote, and I'm happy to say that I'm still using Evernote in 2020. I understand that a lot of people are jumping onto Notion, but I find it a little too complicated. Maybe I didn't give it enough chance, I don't know, but I am completely satisfied with Evernote. I write all my notes on Evernote. Basically, I have a notebook for almost each aspect of my life and I just dump all ideas and information on there. I'm pretty sure at this point you know what Evernote is. I have everything set up on the Google ecosystem. I use Google Calendar so I can share it with my wife and we can coordinate our schedule. I use Google Drive to save all my files and create backups. I use Google Keep to create checklists and to-do lists, whether for work, personal, grocery list, it's all on there. And I also use Google Docs and Google Sheets, which is basically Word and Excel. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, I want everything as simple as possible. For time tracking, I use Toggl. It's basically a timer, and before doing any work, I make sure that I have it turned on, and it helps me keep track of how much hours I use on a certain task. I use Toggl simply to track time and nothing more. All the hours spent are then transferred manually onto a Google Sheets file. I know that the paid version has a lot of tools, but I find that the free version is good enough for me. Lastly, photo and video. I use Lightroom for all of my photo editing needs. All of the photos you see on this channel is edited through Lightroom. Photo editing with the iPad and an Apple Pencil is such an enjoyable experience. I also use Photoshop for touching up photos, but right now the iPad version of Photoshop is still pretty limited. For video editing, I use Lumafusion. Just to clarify, I use Premiere Pro on my MacBook to edit on this channel, but I created a channel with my wife and we used Lumafusion to edit videos that you can see on there. I'll link it down below in case you want to check it out. What I like about Lumafusion is it is so simple to use. The barrier is almost non-existent. I can chip away at video edits little by little and it doesn't feel too much of a commitment to start, and it's not a hassle to stop. I bought it for about $20 on the App Store and it is completely worth it. That's basically how I use my iPad Pro. Like I said, I like to keep things simple. As long as I get the job done, that's good for me. The less apps I use, the better. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you love it, hit that subscribe button and that bell. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.